My name is Jennifer Mele, and I'm a nurse for over 12 years now, and I'm being punished by the NHS for calling a transgender male pedophile prisoner Mr. On the 22nd of May last year, I did work a night shift, and I remember vividly on that day, one of my staff, the nurse, she came to me in distress, saying that we have a patient that wants to self-discharge. He's being very aggressive. During the phone call with the doctor, the patient had me referring to him with as a Mr., and that got him angry, and at that point he began to call me the N word and lashing at me. He had chains on with the prison guards.
And did you fear for your safety?
I was quite shaken and fearful and quite traumatized. The fact that he was calling me the N word several times angrily.
What did you know about the patient before meeting?
Before meeting the patient, I knew he was a prisoner and a sex offender. On his medical notes, it's written as a male, but he identifies as a woman.
And how did you feel about that?
I just plan to refer to him by his name on the board, which was a feminine name, yeah. I wouldn't treat him differently. I would just, as each and every patient and prison patient we receive, we offer them same patient care.
Did you receive any sympathy from your managers, bosses at the hospital?
I had no support from management and the NHS, and for the reason that I referred to a patient by Mr. instead of a Miss, because this was a man right before me, and because of my faith and belief, and they decided to punish me and put me through disciplinary and give me a final warning on my report, and also refer me to the NMC, the nursing board. At this point, I'm quite scared for losing my job and my career.
So we have an update on the case of Nurse Jennifer. The update only came to the public domain yesterday night around 12 p.m. UK time. And we are bringing this update to you because we understand the importance of information. If you know anyone who works in the health service in the UK or anywhere abroad, please kindly ensure that you see this video, because there are valuable lessons that can be learned from the case of this nurse. So this now, the latest update that we have is that for those who have not been following what has been happening with this nurse is a nurse with more than 12 years experience in the NHS. Her record, according to the NHS, is unblemished. In the 12 years that she has worked as a nurse, she has not had one complaint. On one fateful day, she went to work and she was told that she will be dealing with a patient who was born a man and he has now transitioned to a woman. And that patient was serving prison custodial sentence for sexual abuse against a child. The patient was wearing catheter, which is a tube that is inserted into the penis so that somebody who is struggling to pass urine can pass urine. The nurse was describing to the doctor, because the patient was restless, she was telling the doctor that, tonight, doctor, I have a patient here who is a man, and this patient, she now described the patient as Mr. The patient overheard the nurse and went ballistic. Now, after that incident, the hospital then said to the nurse, you will not be able to do any overtime, and we have given you a written warning. The patient then went public. This is something I want you guys to listen to. The patient went public. She said that the hospital was mistreating her because the patient called the nurse the N word and used a lot of inappropriate words to say, how would you feel as a black person if I was calling you black bastard, and a lot of inappropriate words. Why can't you address me as Miss when I have told you that I am now a female? Some people have criticized the nurse. Let me know what your views are in the comment section. So people have said the nurse maintained a judgmental attitude that nurses should not judge people. Whether the patient is a prisoner, is a transgender, that is not it's not the role of the nurse. That the nurse, as part of the code of conduct of a nurse, is supposed to maintain a non-judgmental attitude by not adhering to the patient wishes to be addressed as female, that the nurse has breached the patient confidentiality, and by going public, that the nurse has then again brought the nursing profession into disrepute. As we are speaking now, there is a petition that is going around asking people to sign in support of these nurses. Let me know what your views are. Some people have said the nurse bringing her religion into it, she's shooting herself in the foot by saying that it is against my religious belief that she should not bring her religion into it. The hospital met last week. When they met last week, and they now felt that this was a matter that happened internally. Nobody heard about it apart from the people that work in the hospital. By the nurse going into public, that the nurse has now brought the hospital, the employer, the nursing profession into disrepute, that the nurse's action is capable of undermining public trust and confidence in the nursing profession. Do you support the nurse? Do you think that the nurse action by saying that it is against her religious belief that she will not address the man as a woman, that it's against her religious belief, do you think that is right? Let me know what your views are in the comment section. The hospital met last week, and the nurse, according to report, she was walked out of the hospital. The nurse told her to pack all her, the hospital told the nurse to pack all her things and leave the hospital. She was escorted out of the hospital with security, and they've told her that what she is doing, what she has done, it has undermined public trust and confidence in the nursing profession, and she has breached the confidentiality of this patient. Do you support this nurse? Do you think that the nurse is being victimized as she claimed, or do you think that the nurse's action is wrong? Let me know what your views are. People are saying that the nurse is not her prerogative. Why would she say it's against my Christian belief? Imagine if the nurse in question was a Muslim, and the nurse say, oh, if everybody start bringing their religious belief into the nursing profession, that will undermine public confidence in the nursing profession. That nurses are supposed to treat anybody with respect and dignity, regardless of their faith, regardless. So as we now speak, the latest update that we had yesterday is that Nurse Jennifer was walked out of the hospital by her employer, and she is now being formally investigated by the Nursing and Midwifery Council in the United Kingdom. Some people said if Nurse Jennifer had just accepted the written warning that was given to her and maybe resigned from the trust, moved to another trust, this issue nobody would have heard. That the way this nurse is going about it, she's fighting against powerful forces that have all the tools to tarnish her reputation, that she needs to reevaluate her stand. Do you support that? Do you think that the nurse is fighting just cause? Meanwhile, the nurses is being supported by an organization that advocate for the right of Christians. As we are speaking now, so this nurse is now being formally asked not to return back to St. Helier Hospital in Surrey, and they've packed her things out, and she's been formally referred to the Nursing and Midwifery Council. There are valuable lessons that can be learned from this story. If you are working in the health profession, you're dealing with a patient who is saying, I want you to call me she, or I want you to call me he. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job. At the end of the day, by going public, This and now politics has gone in. The leader of the Conservative Party is supporting the nurses, and the prime minister asking the prime minister to step in. It's all go public, and this is not good for the nursing rep for this very nurse's reputation. She is not going to win. This nurse who has worked for 12 years, no complaint, and now all of a sudden she's now in the public domain, and this is now going, it may not go well. I don't know who is advising this sister, but I think that there needs to be she needs to reflect. Nobody is saying that the cause that she's fighting is not a just cause, but at the same time, a nurse must learn to maintain a non-judgmental attitude and go there, do your work, and don't do anything that will undermine public trust and confidence. So if you know anyone who is planning to come and work in the UK, or anyone that works in the health profession in the UK or anywhere in the abroad, kindly ensure that they see this video, because there are valuable lessons that can be learned from the case of Nurse Jennifer, who has now been walked out of the hospital and told not to return back. Share this video, give it a like.